My first PlayStation 5 Platinum was the You've Only Done Everything Platinum Trophy from Astro's Playroom, which was that free little game that was bundled with every PlayStation 5 sold at launch. And the game is basically one big love letter to PlayStation, its fans, and all of the characters and games that have appeared on the systems throughout the years, as this game is packed to the brim full of cameos from all your favourite characters that have been associated with PlayStation from first and third party titles, so there's a lot of nice little Easter eggs to discover in the game as you play through it. But what about the trophies? Are they too grindy, bullshit or hard? Is the game worth your time and should you platinum it? Well, luckily I'm here to help you decide whether you should play it, plat it, or just downright avoid it. So Astro's Playroom is primarily a 3D platforming adventure game where you run and jump and attack enemies and collect a load of coins as you traverse various levels. And it's fairly standard platforming stuff. However, there are a few special levels where you get to make use of the DualSense controller's special features, so you might be swiping the touchpad to steer a ball or using the triggers to slowly climb up a wall, things like that. But for the most part it's just a running and jumping platformer. There are a few tricky bits in the game, such as the gliding section if you're trying to reach all the collectibles, and maybe the final boss will give you a couple of attempts before you finally beat it, but nothing in the game is really that hard, so it's quite an easy game that anyone can pick up and play, and it's also quite short, allowing you to complete it in a couple of hours. So let's get on with the type of trophies you'll be looking at. So a lot of the trophies in Astro's Playroom are dedicated to the various different collectibles that you can find scattered throughout the levels. So this is one of the main things you'll be doing, as it's pretty much a collectathon style game. So each area has 4 levels within it, and each level will have a bunch of different collectibles, from the puzzle pieces that make up the PlayStation mural to the various PlayStation themed accessories that you can get by finding various collectibles in the level. So you'll often find these sort of cables like this where it reveals a golden cube that then shows a PlayStation peripheral or something related to one of the PlayStation consoles of yesteryear, and basically there's a load of those to find in the game. There are also some hidden puzzle pieces that are usually off the sort of beaten path of the level, which require you to just explore just a tiny little bit more in order to find them. So each level will have a bunch of these to find, and thankfully you can easily keep track of which ones you've found and what you've missed, because each level will have a breakdown of the collectibles available, so you can easily see which ones you missed, and you can jump back into a completed level at any point, so you'll never run the risk of missing out on a collectible, because you can always go back to those levels and play them. So nothing in this game trophy wise is missable, so that's one of the best things about it, really. There are a couple that maybe are a little bit like obscure, like this one with the monkey climb, but it does kind of highlight that there's something different with that ledge because it was coloured yellow. So if you just go into it and just take your time, look around and just explore, you can probably find the vast majority of these collectibles naturally. And you also get a bigger collectible trophy for 100%ing the level and the world. So there's quite a lot of trophies to get from that. The game's collectibles were actually really fun to find, all of them, because it was fun to discover which PlayStation themed thing the collectible would be next, and none of them were hidden in bullshit places, and there wasn't an overabundance of them. You didn't have to find hundreds of the things, so it was fun to do. So there are also even more collectibles in the game in form of the gacha prize balls that you can actually purchase using your gold coins, which you can collect in the levels by killing enemies or smashing boxes and things like that. So these are your currency to play the gacha ball game. So you'll put the money in and you pull the lever and then a prize ball comes out, and this will either contain one of the puzzle pieces that you'll need to complete the mural, or a sort of mini figure statuette of something PlayStation related. So you need to get all of these in order to finish the mural and get all of the final collectible trophies. I think you get one for your first prize ball. There's another for a more unique sort of mini figure that you'll get. So I think my one was where Astro was holding some PlayStation trophies, and then I think you get the final one for just actually buying all of the prize balls. So you'll see that certain prize balls drop down, and you may see a couple of duds every now and then, so you end up wasting 100 coins, which can be slightly annoying, but you will have an abundance of coins if you play through the levels and just collect as many as you see. So it's never really a major problem, even if you do get a couple of duds. And you'll never get any duplicates either, so it only gives you the ones that you'll need. So that's always good, because that would just be really annoying if you kept getting the same like PlayStation 1 console over and over again, but thankfully that doesn't happen. Next up, we have level-specific trophies, which require you to do hidden little tasks within the levels to unlock them, such as this Hell Diver one for diving into the pool off of the highest board. So these are just little fun little distractions that you can get, and they're pretty cool to do, to be fair. This one at the end of this snow level where you get this bow and arrow, there are loads of bunny rabbits in the area, and I thought the only reference here would be the Journey one there with the cameraman. However, you'll see a load of bunny rabbits, and if you shoot them all with the arrows, you'll get this God of War themed trophy, Adequate Boy. There's another couple of varied ones here. They're quite fun to get, to be fair. Most of these I did get just naturally when playing, but there was a couple that I got afterwards, after looking at guides to discover what they were. This pain one you should get naturally, because the wind will blow tin cans and stuff like that at you, and you're more than likely to get hit. This one here was probably the trickiest one when you're in the ball and you have to steer the ball using the touchpad. You're required to get a strike on these bowling pins on the right here, so you only get one chance to do it. The first time I tried it, I think I got like a split. There was 2 pins left, and the only way to re-attempt it is to actually restart the level. So you do have to play a little bit of the level to get back there, which was a bit frustrating. It's probably the trickiest trophy in the main list, but that's not saying much because it's really easy anyway. 1 or 2 goes and you'll get it. There are also a couple of hidden trophies within the CPU Plaza level, and this is one that I had to look up. So you need to get a load of the Astrobots following you at once, so you do this by running up to them and punching them in the face, because for some reason that makes them like you, so they like to follow you around. Once you get, I think it's 20 all following you at the same time, you'll unlock the bronze The Last Guy trophy, which was like a weird little PS3 game if I remember correctly. Another one in the Plaza area is Project Neo, so this is one you can do straight after the Last Guy one. So once you've got a bunch of them following you, you need to hit them all at the same time using your spin attack, which you do by holding down, I think it's the square button to charge it up. And this will let you do like a Crash Bandicoot style spin attack. So if you can hit so many within that one spin cycle, you will unlock the Project Neo trophy. So again, these trophies aren't really that challenging. However, one that you might find a little bit tricky is the Keepy Uppies trophy, which requires you to bounce a ball up in the air by keep on headering it basically when you're in this little bunny hopping robot thing. So this is one you use with the controllers, triggers to move around, and you tilt the pad to aim where you want to go. So it can be a little bit awkward, and it might take you a couple of attempts. So I'm just highlighting that this is another one that's kind of tricky, but compared to other games it's just so easy, but it may take you 1 or 2 attempts. There's a cool jumping flash themed trophy that you can get called Jumping Splash by jumping on this fountain at the end of a level, and I'm really digging that old PS1 reference there. Another one in Colding Springs you can get is the Twisting Metal trophy, which is obviously a reference to Twisted Metal, the vehicle combat game. So you just have to do some jumping spins. And there's a great heavy rain gag in the game as well, with a trophy called Jason. So in this level it starts off sunny, and at one point it gets raining, and Astrobot has an umbrella come out of his head, and there's this buzz shelter that you can stand under. If you stand under there out of the heavy rain, you will unlock the Jason trophy, which I thought was really cool. Again, it's a nice little hidden Easter egg, and they tie these Easter eggs into the trophies, which I think is pretty cool. One that could be a little bit challenging is the Ready for the Proving trophy, which I think is like a Horizon Zero Dawn reference to Aloy. So this one you have to fire at a enemy's projectile that's coming towards you with your bow. So you have to just hit the projectile with the bow basically. It took me a couple of attempts, but it's not really that hard. Just use it on one of these snot enemies on this section of the level, and you should get it easy enough. Another one that is a little bit awkward because you can lose the snowball when you're rolling it around because it could fall off into the water is this one here, which requires you to just roll a really big snowball. So just use the fences to keep the ball steady and don't constantly push against the ball. Push it a little bit and let it just roll and naturally stop before you move it again, because you can easily fuck it up, but you can just restart the level again if you do miss it. But that's how you would get the little rolling star trophy, which is like a Katamari thingy, isn't it? One of the most awkward ones I thought was this one called No No No, which requires you to fall from a great height, so many meters, using the monkey to do the climbs. So on this level, if you go up and go past so many of these wires that you can hang on, once you get to like the third one, I think it is, you can drop, go past the other two and land and grab the final one. It might take you a couple of attempts, but again, like every other trophy in this game, it's not that hard. It's just a bit awkward to grab it because you can't really see it as you fall. Wild Arms is another easy one and a quick one that you can get once you get the gun power up in one of the later space sort of levels. You can do a move where you're doing your spin attack and you can fire at the same time, so just charge up your spin attack as normal, and as you're spinning around, press the shoot button and you'll just instantly unlock the Wild Arms trophy. So the other sets of trophies in the game are related to the Labo area of the game, which is the PlayStation sort of museum section, and this is one of the other doors in the hub world area of the CPU plaza, and this is where all of the collectibles you've picked up for PlayStation will be placed. So when you find, say, the PS1 in one of the levels, you'll see it in this room, and eventually once you get all the collectibles, you slowly start to build up all of these collectibles, and there's certain things you can do with some of them, like this VR headset. If you go and punch it and look through the lens, you'll see Astro's VR game, Astrobot Rescue, getting played. There's also ones once you collect all of the motion controller guns and the PS2, I think it was, you can actually use them to climb up and get over to the PS4's far point gun, and if you stand on top of that, you will unlock the very far point trophy. So there's a lot of nice little things you can do in this room. It's not just an empty room with the character models for the games and stuff. So you can do certain things with these, and once you get so many, you'll get more trophies for unlocking everything and collecting everything in this room to fill it up. So you'll fill up the content for the controllers and consoles and peripherals, as well as the puzzle pieces, so that builds up the room, the mural around the room, and then once you've done all that, you will unlock the trophy. But there's even more cooler trophies in the room, because you can interact with most of the consoles and peripherals by either punching them with Astrobot, or maybe jumping on top of them, pressing one of the buttons using your gliding lasers that shoot down. So there's a couple of cool, interesting ones that we can get there, and these were like the last ones I had to get because I wasn't really sure what they were, so I did have to look these up. But if you were to just go into that room and just be like a child, like would do, like be really curious, press a load of things, try a load of things out, and you'll soon start to unlock them. And that's one of the best tips I can give about this game. Just look at it, approach it with a childlike wonder, and just explore. Don't be afraid to hit things and see what happens when you do that. A good example of this is the PlayStation Sony logo in this corner. If you smack it loads of times, the sign drops to reveal the original Sony Computer Entertainment logo, which is kind of a cool little trophy. There's other ones where you can smack things and stuff will happen. Consoles that don't even give you a trophy will still do something cool as well. There's a PlayStation Home logo in the room, and if you walk under the roof of the Home logo, you essentially just unlock a trophy for that. There's no other reason to do it. It doesn't do anything else, but it gives you a trophy. Honey, I'm Home unlocks, which is just some nice little reference that they actually put in for various weird PlayStation things that went on throughout the years. There's a trophy called This Way Up, which ties to the PS2 console. So the PS2 console had a little PlayStation logo just on the disc tray, and you could actually turn that because you could have the console upright or flat. so you could adjust the logo so it was always the right way. So if you go up to that slim console and punch the logo, it will actually turn, and that will unlock the This Way Up trophy, which I just think was really cool, the fact that they took the time to have that little detail on that console model. There's also a table in the room with a bunch of PlayStation trophies. It's all of the new versions of the bronze, silver, gold and platinum trophy. So if you go up to that table and just press square, Astrobot will pick up a trophy, and that will then give you the "You've got a trophy," which I thought was brilliant. And once I discovered that was a thing, I made sure that was the final trophy I got in the game, so that my platinum trophy would be me holding the platinum trophy in game, which I thought was kind of cool. And the final trophy, is the platinum "You've Done Everything" trophy. So overall, the platinum journey is a fairly straightforward one. I managed to platinum this game on the day of the console's release in the UK, and it only took me about 9 hours to do, and that's with a couple of breaks. So it's just a really fun and enjoyable platinum to get, and there's nothing really too challenging, so I definitely recommend that you do this. As you may have noticed at the start of the video, Astro's Playroom also contains an additional 3 DLC trophies that are separate to the main list. The first of these is tied to the collectibles in the secret levels underneath the floor of the CPU Plaza, as these all contain the PS5 collectibles. So if you get all of those in the levels down here, you will unlock the gold Play Has No Limits trophy, and again the collectibles are really easy to find. The next trophy is a bronze called Gravity Daze, which requires you to anger the monitor underneath the floor of the CPU Plaza so that he smacks the glass and hurts a load of the Astrobots. So you'll first need to punch several of the Astrobots to get a big bunch of them following you. Once they're following you, stand on the glass and either punch the glass or use your sort of hover ability to laser the glass. This will piss the monitor off and he will slam against the glass. And if he hits enough of those robots during that point, you'll get the trophy. The final one is the gold Run Astro Run trophy, and this is probably the hardest trophy in the entire game, as it's a speedrun trophy requiring you to beat 8 speedrun specific stages in under 7 minutes. So this can seem like it's going to be really challenging at first, but like all the other trophies, it's not that bad, as it's quite a lenient amount of time to do them all in. So you have 8 of them in this network speedrun area in the CPU Plaza. There are 4 standard levels where you're running as Astro and jumping around, and then there's another 4 which relate to the 4 different motion controller type things. So you'll get the monkey climb, the spaceship, the spring and the ball to roll around in. So you'll have a level for each of those. But what I did was basically just try and get my times for the ones where I'm running as Astrobot down really short. And then I just played through the other 4 levels just once to get a time, and that still gave me a time under 7 minutes. So because I preferred the ones where I'm running as Astro, because I felt like they were easier to do, and I could do those a lot quicker than, say, the monkey climb, which I just felt was a bit clunky. Again, it's a very easy trophy for you to get. It seems a lot worse when you look at it and think, oh, speedrun, I can't speedrun. But this is a game where anyone can pick up and play it, anyone can platinum this game, and they can still get the DLC trophies as well. These should have just really been as part of the main game, to be fair, because they were there on day one, so I don't really know why they weren't, unless they weren't for the American release, but as far as I know, for me, they were there on day one. But yeah, it's a cool little challenge, but it's a very easy one for you to get. So don't think, oh, it's speedruns, I can't do that, because this is just one where anyone can get the time down. If you have a weaker level, just play another one that you're better at and try and get that time down a few more seconds, and it usually will balance out, because 7 minutes is enough to do all of these within that time. So yeah, that is it. That is all the main trophies and all of the DLC trophies for now anyway. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video.